Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Adi, and today I am joined by a very special guest, the winner of the 612-player Smogon Major. We have Liakos. Liakos, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me to do that.
Of
Hello,
course.
everyone.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. This is such a cool tournament. It was a free entry tournament, and
Yeah.
you did really, really well. You played 10 rounds of Swiss, and then it cut to like a top 32, and I think it said you dropped like 4 games the entire tournament, not sets, games.
Yeah.
Just insane.
Yeah,
But
that
I guess
went well, and I was a bit surprised because I didn't really feel like playing because I was mad for my NBA set, and I had friends saying, "No, you cannot miss that tour." And I started playing, and I was doing well with the team. I had a lot of fun playing, and yeah, I did pretty well.
Yeah, and so I guess for those who don't know about you, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Well, a VGC player from Greece. Started like one year ago, almost a few months after Short the City release. I'm a member of the Greek national team. I've I have not played any live tours. I'm only competing in online. Qualified for the Players Cup. Never had a great run, like top 33 to 63 and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some grassroots tour wins, an empty moon, was playing a lot of empty silvers, etc. And that was the first big win, let's say.
Yeah. And yeah, it's incredible. This was such a big tournament to win too. This is maybe the biggest tournament since the Champions Cup way back a year ago. And we're on the same NPA team. We're on the New Bark Loud Puppies, and so I've seen you play a number of games. And I remember seeing. I think we played a friendly with Sweden-Greece friendly back with the national teams before Euros.
Greece. Yeah, I don't think we matched. I'm not sure.
We didn't play each other, but watching those games, I know. I mean,
I see.
It's incredible to see. Especially, I love seeing new players that haven't played in top tournaments do well during these grassroots tournaments, because it just shows how much you can improve just by playing in these online tournaments and the quality of these grassroots tournaments that this community has put together.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see you come to live tournaments, and tear up the scene then.
Yeah, I'm really excited to do that as well. I haven't played any, but I really want to. I think it's going to be a great experience.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun. And so I guess let's talk about the team that you used. Is really, really solid. I guess, do you want to talk me through your team building process?
Yeah. Well, this started with an idea that Clef Regieleki with Life Orb with Helping Hand support is insanely strong. I was running some couch with the Life Orb and the Rising Voltage that has 140 max move. And with the Helping Hand, it's able to nuke Dynamax Zapdos, Porygon 2, Dusclops, so it was insanely strong. Then I talked to my friend Pasder about that we team build a lot together, and we tried to find the appropriate mods to go around that. Okay. It seemed like we needed really good cleaners. If Regieleki is going to be the main max Pokemon, we needed good cleaners in the back, and Rillaboom and Urshifu are so good at that. Like, you have the fake out, you kind of need a fake out in the team, not absolutely, but it's really important sometimes. And Rillaboom with Miracle Seed is a really good Pokemon. It's able to do damage to Lando when he's out of max, to nuke Fini if you lose Regieleki really fast. And Urshifu is super strong in the format. Hits Super Protect, hits neutral almost the entire like meta. So those 4 have a really big issue. They don't beat like Venusaur. They don't. And we found out that Glassrare with the Lamberry is really, really strong against Sun. Either it is Venusaur P2 with green, with screens. If it's like with screens, you can Sword Dance and you have their direction, and then you're able to take kill to either Venusaur, to Torkoal. Porygon doesn't really do anything to you. So it really had that matchup. Then the last one was the trickiest. Like the team is kinda doesn't have a great way to deal with Rotom Hit. Also, Rillaboom, if you don't bring Glacier, is annoying. To Regieleki, to Urshifu, it's quite annoying. So we needed for that, and also being able to not lose bad to Glacier. And yeah, we couldn't really find any. So still I filled the role of that quite well, because it's really good against Rillaboom, it's good against Glacier, and it's also against Rotom Hit with Assault Vest, you actually do more to Rotom Hit that you take damage from it.
Mm-hmm.
The Rotom Hit is not a huge issue because like Urshifu does 60-something%, and Regieleki also, if I Heavy Hand Strike or Heavy Hand Lightning, it does so much damage.
Yeah, and this definitely feels like it's taken a lot from some of the other teams that have done well. We saw like Dave Gatesh and Asuya do really well with Regieleki Clefairy combination. We've seen Celesteela do really well in a bunch of other grassroots tournaments. The Clefairy Glastrier core has been really common on like Spectrier teams, and is now also. Yeah. But this kind of shows that you don't need a Spectrier. Like the Regieleki is kind of enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so good, and with the Clefairy support, it's actually insane how much this Regieleki can live. It's able to take Helping Hand Max Quake from Glacier, Max Attack through Friend Guard. And the only Quake that kills it is Landorus with Life Orb and Garchomp with Life Orb. And that's a roll. You're also able to take Wicked Blow and Surging without even the Friend Guard. Yeah, it's super bulky. And yeah, the speed is enough. It outfits everything but other Regielekis.
Okay, and so I guess, yeah, it is a very bulky. It's got a lot of defense investment, and it's a modest nature, so it's also hitting really hard. Do you remember what it was meant to outspeed?
It's 2-4 or 2-5. Yeah, it outspeeds Pheromosa.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then the only faster one is Regieleki. Only, I think.
Yeah, I like that philosophy a lot. I think that either your Regieleki has to be max speed timid because you want to speed tie other Regieleki, or in a case like this, even if you speed tie other Regieleki, none of your other Pokemon benefit from that speed drop, right? Like you can't make your Urshifu outspeed other Regieleki. And so there's no reason to actually try to be that fast. You might as well be bulkier, hit a little harder, and say, I'm going to outspeed everything but Regieleki. And I think that's the correct philosophy.
Yeah, that was the philosophy behind it. And also it was helping beat other cores with Golf Regieleki, for example, that if the opposing Regieleki goes for max lighting and he sets the electric rain and a helping hand lighting, the opposing Regieleki dies.
Okay. Yeah. And so I guess talk to me about some of the other Pokemon and what they were meant to do in terms of EV spreads.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, the Clefairy started being Bolt Nature, I think, yeah. And then I was annoyed by the Electro Ball on Regieleki. Even if it was Magnet, it was outgoing. And with that spread, with Calm, it's able to leave Timid, Magnet, Electro Ball, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay, it also has a good role to survive Steel Spike from Glastrier. In the defense, it was quite good defensively and in special defense to take hits. Okay, yeah. The Rillaboom is quite simple. 140 HP and 28 def is to survive 4 attack Flare Blitz from Incineroar, and I needed it to be very fast to outspeed opposing Rillabooms. You will also outspeed Incin, but yeah, 123 outspeeds almost every Rillaboom, and outspeeds also most Finny, so I can always would hammer even without the rain.
And why did you choose to run these 4 moves instead of some of the other coverage moves we've seen, like Superpower or Knockoff or High Horsepower?
Yeah, well, I didn't feel like I needed those. Like Fake Out, yeah, you need a Fake Out in the team. I don't have any other, and it gives so much. And I found also Protect to be particularly useful when Rillaboom comes and it's an opposing Landorus and has one more 10 of max, and I can protect and Grass Glide the next turn. It was really useful, and I really love this series, the Miracle Seed with Woodhammer, so you can do so much damage. You can nuke Fini even if it has, even if the terrain is not there. You can also do really good damage to landers. Like if I am with Regieleki and Rillaboom, I can strike with Hammer Landers and it does so much damage. Or Garchomps that sometimes try to short dance or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I really like that. Like most series, even though it's Series 5, I used a lot of the Series 5. No, start of Series 7, I think. The band,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the band now so much. Miracle Seed fits so well every team.
Yeah, I mean, Fake Out is just so important to this metagame right now. So you really do need it. And then, like you said, Woodhammer, also very useful. Sometimes you just need more damage. Rillaboom, there's like, I feel like in the early game, there's a lot of Pokemon that want to click max Airstream, but after that's over, the Airstream mons don't actually hit that hard a lot of times. Like Celesteela's Air Slash, if it didn't get boost, isn't hitting that hard, stuff like that. And so you have the opportunity to click Woodhammer a lot into a lot of the later game Pokemon, like especially like Tapu Fini when it gets their terrain up. Makes a lot of sense that you need that move.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a really strong Pokemon, and it's a great cleaner. It's also able to help vs opposing Urshifu, either they are dark or especially the water one. Yeah, it's super good. And then Urshifu, I don't think Urshifu Dark runs another set. It's always max attack, max speed, and Focusas. It's the best item for it.
Definitely,
being able to survive a hit, like you can't take special hits that well, you can take any fairy hit, so Sass is super good there. Now about the Glastrier, well, that's also quite simple. It's not like a great philosophy behind the spread. With 196 attack, it gets the last dual point with a plus nature. With 52 speed, you are faster than opposing Clefairy, so they don't Icy Wind first. With like mainly the Clefairy Glacier combo, the opposing. So yeah, I don't like Icy Wind and then taking first the Steel Spikes. So I can fire first the Steel Spikes. Yeah, that's beneficial.
Glastrier really has 4 coverage moves that it wants. It also wants close combat on top of the moves that you are running. Why did you choose to drop close combat for either heavy slam or high horsepower?
Yeah, well, the ice and ground are pretty much not living. They are super good. They hit super effective, like a ton of mons. It's the combo of the 2 types that hit the most super effective mons, Pokemon types. I don't know how to say that. So the last move could be close combat, and I kind of like close combat on the Life Orb set. But since you also have the ability to set up sword dance, and you don't really need Knuckle. The Steel Spike is able to really help getting the defense boost for both Glastrier and the Clefairy, and make Glastrier really hard to kill. So Steel Spikes and Quakes boost the defenses, and yeah, it becomes super hard to kill.
And so I guess tell me about the Celesteela.
Yeah, that's the last one. So I have played Celesteela before, but it was like super different. It was max speed, max special attack, something like that with Life Orb. And this one, I kind of just needed to outspeed every instant. It reaches 98, and most instants don't run that fast. And with the +1 from Airstream, is able to outspeed base 90s, like max speed Togekiss, for example, which is not really a problem, but yeah, that. And the Assault Vest is also very good, boosting the special defense to even take hits from Regieleki or Charizard. And you also need the 4 type moves. You need the Dual Slap, and Flash Cannon and Flamethrower and Meteor Beam give really good coverage. Against opposing Rotom hits, I definitely need my Meteor Beam because I can't really touch it otherwise. And Flamethorn gives an extra answer for Ferrothorn, so it doesn't wall you.
Yeah, I've definitely seen people dropping Flamethrower and running Protect or something else, but Flamethrower feels like such an important coverage move because of how how much of a problem Celesteela has with steel types. Like your team probably struggles with Metagross if you don't have Flamethrower. Obviously, you do have Urshifu to deal with it, but like things like that, things like opposing Celesteela seem again. You have the Regieleki, but beyond that, you just have another coverage move to deal with those potentially problematic Pokemon.
Yeah, but it's like you said, it's really useful against some because I can't bring all the 6 Pokemon in a matchup. So
Exactly.
there are occasions that I can't bring Regieleki, for example, and Celesteela is the best maxer there. And the coverage that it gets, it's really important to deal with most it can.
So, can you talk me through some of the common game plans that the team has?
Regieleki Clef is generally a super strong lead. It gives more firepower to Regieleki and also helps it take hits. And especially in occasions that the opposing team has Trick Room setters, and I don't really want Trick Room up, I have to lead that so I can nuke the Trick Room setter, either it is Clops or Dusclops. Now, if they have Trick Room setter and Screens, I need to lead Regieleki and Urshifu most of the time. So Max Light plus Close Combat kills the Porygon 2 even if it has either Light Screen or Reflect. And also nuke Clops with Max Lighting Wicked Blow. So yeah, that's the most common lead. Now, against Clefairy other teams, it's also Regieleki left the lead and Rillaboom Urshifu in the back. It's like you with Max Lighting Helping Hand, you do 90 something to opposing Spectre. Now this can go some different ways depending on how they play that. If they don't max Quake, they almost auto lose because Helping Hand Max Fatas won't kill Regieleki, and in the next hit, I Max Lighting killed Clefairy and Moonblast killed that, kill Spectre, and I'm fine if they take out either Maclef or Mailek. And the backmons usually on the Dual Force team are Water Sifu and either Regieleki or Rillaboom. So my Rillaboom in the back with really fast fake out and my Urshifu usually are able to play it. Now in occasions with like the Sun team, like I said, with Venusaur, Porygon, Torkoal, Greenstar, then I really need my Glacier. And Glacier Clef is the lead, and probably in the back it's Urshifu with Regieleki. So Regieleki can do damage to Torkoal if it's out of trade room. And now if the opposing team has also Charizard, then it's somewhat trickier. And I usually lead with Regieleki and Glacier, so I can manage whatever comes in the back. In the front, sorry. Yeah, so I can max either Regieleki or Glacier and bring the Clef in the back to help the sweeper. What else?
One of the teams that we saw do really well, especially in this Smogon tournament, was teams with Prankster Thundurus, especially paired with Landorus. And there was one really common version of that with like Kartana and whatnot. Do you remember how you played against that matchup?
Yeah, that's actually a matchup I wanted to talk about, and because I thought that it was really tricky. When we played in the Swiss in the 10th round, it was 9-0, and I played Monkey that had almost the same team I faced in the top cut, but he had Garchomp over Landorus and Togekiss over Tapu Fini. So I thought it was a tricky matchup. I was also very tired, and I think I didn't play that very well. Because the Prankster Thundy, it's annoying because he can spam either Air Impulse to my Regieleki, he can taunt my Clef, and they were leading most of the time Thundurus Instinct. So they can pressure Fake Out Air Impulse, then taunt the next turn, then Parting Shot. Yeah, this one didn't have Snarl, but yeah. So I remember he really outplayed me in that one because I brought Regieleki Clef, I protect, and then the next turn Thunderous switches out for Garchomp, and I'm exploiting that slot. And that didn't go very well. I lost so much momentum to that. So I don't exactly remember how game 2 went, but I get the loss to 2-0 to that. So the next day, I'm starting to think, like, when I see these matchups, and I say, oh, yeah, well, that's tricky. That's tricky because they have really good answers to Regieleki, which is Praxtatandi, Garchomp, Cardano. And I can't really break my Glacier because Glacier, yeah, it's good. And I'm talking about the next day that they also have double Intimidate. They have double Intimidate and Kartana. So Glacier is not the best mon. It can't break through it. It can't. So I need to play with Regieleki smart. And I think that if I lead Rillaboom that has Fake Out, the best I can do is do Regieleki Rillaboom and press with the Fake Out Lightning Bolt of Thundurus. But, well, I won't like Thundurus because I expect the switch to do the ground type. And I fake out the Thundy, lighting the Insyn. I do really good damage, almost take out the Insyn. And then they bring the Ladros in. Everyone did that switch. Everyone did that switch. Yeah. Now, after that, I strike the Ladros and switch to Clef, and as they go for Airstream. I was kind of surprised that they never went for Quake on my, like, almost never. They were always going for the Airstreams, either not expecting my max on the Eleki and expecting maybe a Protect or switch to Rillaboom, and they didn't want to lose momentum to that. And, well, getting a lot of damage on the Instinct, getting the strike damage and the speed drop on Ladros, and then bringing the back mods were able to clean the rest of his team. And in the next, that happened to game 1 most of the time. And in the next game, I was expecting a lot Katana in the game 2, so I brought Celesteela over Rillaboom. So we can handle Katana better with Flamethrower. And that also worked. That also worked very well. I was like, it was really intense because I really thought the matchup was not easy for me, but it worked very well because I fought the team, this exact team, 3 times in Top Cut, and I was able to 2-0 all of them. And I didn't expect it. Every game was really intense.
Yeah, if you haven't been paying attention, this team is just all over. It's all over the ladder. It's all over the top cut of this tournament. And so definitely make sure to look out for it when you're doing your Players' Cup prep. But I guess going back to your team, do you want to talk about what you think some of the strongest matchups for your team are and what you think some of the weaker matchups for your team are?
Well, some easy matchup I would say is the Clefairy, not Clefairy, Dusclops, Finny, Glacier, Insicore. Well, when they lead the Insinclops most of the time, and I don't know why, and they help behind lighting kill Clops, even if they parting shot, well, that's fine, because then I get a kill, they don't get trigger map, and Glacier can't break through Regieleki Clef. Even if they bring Insane and go for the protect, it's fine. I get damage of Glacier, and next turn I get a kill, either on Finny or Insane. And Rushifu plus Rila, they kill the rest when the max is over. It's really easy, unless they run, like I fought that only once, max special defense clubs that has a role on surviving, which, yeah, they mostly don't run that. But it's quite easy. It's quite easy. Anything that doesn't have an electric resist, it's insanely easy. The Colossal matchup also is not very hard. Dragapult Colossal, helping hand lighting the Pult, and Pult dies. Now Colossal can do sham damage, and then even if Rila comes, yeah, it doesn't work well for them. It doesn't work very well. And even some tough matchups, honestly, it includes definitely Landers. And if they have both Landers and Among Us, And they have also in Seed, they don't really let me go with Glassware that I really wanted to. Against Landers Amugus, you want to go Glassware. But if they have double Intimidate, it's kind of stops it from sweeping. But most people get greedy and they try to short dance in front of my Red Jeleki and I help hand strike and the Landers dies. And somehow the biggest threat to the team is gone. So
Oh yeah, that was. I remember watching your NPA match a couple of weeks ago, and your opponent kept leading Garchomp, and you just kept clicking help like max strike into it, saying, I have no fear. I've got physical bulk. I can take
yeah,
these.
exactly that. Yeah, this Garchomp was also assault vest and didn't die, but yeah, most of the time I do that. Because people think that either I'm gonna be scared and switch or protect or something, and they try to capitalize and go for short dance. But because of that, the role to kill Ladderus is pretty good with Helping Hand Max Strike. The toughest one is Assault Vest Ladderus. That we don't do much to them in the back, and they don't really care going for estems that much, and that's a bit trickier. If they start going for quakes and I'm not really able to do that much and they bring something like Celesteela in the back or Tokigis in the back and I lose my Regieleki, then this can be hard because Rillaboom plus Urshifu don't do that much. Especially with Tokigis that I remember. What was that? It was with Gothita Landers, Incin, Tokigis, Regieleki. Well, that was Taran's team.
Yes, that's Taran's team.
Yeah. Well, when I lost my Regieleki, even if I take a couple of kills, when I lose my Regieleki, then I don't really have much to deal with Togigis. It has a really good matchup against my Rillaboom and my Urshifu, so it's really tough. I need those to be both at full health and to beat Togigis on its own, which is not something I can do very easily if the Landers is able to kill my Regieleki super fast. So that's definitely something to note. And so still sometimes counts in the back, but it's not that great as a non-maxer, I feel like. Usually you need Relay and Sifu to clean. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like I feel like a lot of teams right now rely on Rillaboom or Shifu as a combination to clean up games. And so if your opponent can exploit that and also like somehow not lose to your very powerful leads, then I guess that might be difficult to deal with. But you've got so many strong your opponent has to somehow deal with Regieleki and Celesteela and Glastrier on team preview and correctly deduce which one you're going to bring. And that's just really difficult. And so I can totally see how you can overpower even some of the teams that you have bad matchups against.
Yeah.
And so do you want to tell me, you talked about your games against Will and Marco Fiero and the Thunderous Garchomp or Thunderous Landorus teams. Do you have any other memorable games from the tournament that you wanted to talk about?
Well, there is the game I played against Zekrom Zik that had the Julio's team. That's also a matchup that it is a bit tricky. I remember either winning that very easily or losing to that pretty easily. And that doesn't happen most of the time. Well, this team has the issue that they can bring Regieleki, they can bring Grimstone with Entei to really slow down my Regieleki with Blightscreen Snarl. And I can't power through it. If I lead the Regieleki and Clef, I can't kill Entei. I can't kill. Well, I can kill Green, but then I get the Snarl, and the next turn I can't kill Entei. So it's really tricky. I kind of want to lead the Regieleki plus Urshifu, so I can max strike plus wicked blow, and that didn't kill. In the match that I played with the Dragon Zik in the Swiss, that didn't kill, and that went quite bad for me, and I lost that game. And then how did the next one go? Because that team has also that it brings P2 in the back, and P2 in the back, it's after screens, it's hard to kill if I lose Urshifu. Yeah, I think he didn't cut. He was 7-3, I think. So
Okay.
yeah, it shouldn't be here. Yeah. And yeah, that was a really intense set. It was 2-1, and the last game was very very close. He played very well, and he got some good rolls on the end. They survived that. That was pretty crucial. But in the next game, I think he lost because he brought the Metagross, and the Metagross lead doesn't do very well. Because I can either kill Metagross, which I don't really do, because they can guard and snarl, and that's pretty bad. And if I kill Entei, I can usually deal with everything he brings. Even if it's P2 and I have Regiality with Plate in the back next to each other, the power can kill the mons, and then Urshifu comes to clean the Metagross when he's out of Dynamax. Yeah, that was a one I remember. And it was a really close set. He played very well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Having multiple ways to mitigate damage against this, a lot of powerful options, a very hyper offensive team, is maybe the only way that a defensive team can survive against something like this. It's just this is just a combination of like all of the powerful Pokemon that we've seen do really well recently, and put together in a very cohesive manner.
Yeah, it is a hyper offense style. I would say it's not like Tailwind hyper offense and all frame modes, but it's kind of hyper offense. And the thing with the Steam is you are not really allowed to do many mistakes. If you lead wrong, then you're in a pretty bad spot. And if you don't bring the right mons to beat any combination the opposing team can have. And that was also another match, I think it was in the Swiss, that the opposing team had Sun, Vin, Torkoal, and they also had Celesteela. So, well, my go-to, like I said, against Vin Torkoal is Glassware. But if they bring Celesteela, Glassware doesn't do really well against that. And so I need to get the leads right. So in the first game, I didn't bring my Regieleki, and I brought Glassware. And I think he brought Grimmsnarl plus Regieleki. And I had the Glassware Clefairy. And I held behind Hellstorm the Regieleki, and he volt switches to Celesteela, and he somehow loses Celesteela to the held behind Hellstorm and has no more to touch my Glassware. And in the next game, I say, well, yeah, he's going to bring Celesteela to counter my Glassware Clef. Celesteela is a pretty good answer. And I lead Regieleki then. And that didn't go very well for them.
Yeah. I mean, again, it sounds like you had a lot of great games, a lot of games against the same team too. But the team itself has just, if you call the leads right, it seems like this team can really beat anything. And it has such cohesive matchups. It's just so this is the type of team that I don't want to face on the ladder. It is such a scary team to face. And yeah, I guess so. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. This team is really cool.
Thank you. It was really nice.
Yeah, and congratulations again for winning the 612 player Smogon Major. That is an insane accomplishment. Do you have any final words or shout-outs that you want to give?
Well, I already gave a huge shout out to my friend Pastor that he really helped with this team. He put most of the pieces there after my initial idea, and we practiced a lot together as well to see how we deal with matchups. And yeah, thanks to everyone who supported me throughout the run, and especially the boys in the Greek community that were there after every game to say congrats, to say go strong and win it all, and yeah.
Yeah. And so, of course, the rental code is on the screen right now. There will be a paste in the description down below. Definitely recommend trying this team out because it is one of the strongest teams in the metagame right now. And congratulations once again. And until next time,
Thank you.
Until next time, I will see you all later.